Ruidoso, New Mexico yesterday, and that whole area, I call it the Hamptons for Texas.
Yeah, Texas Hamptons.
Bro, we went there yesterday.
Southwest Hamptons.
It was so busy. We had to park in all the overflow parking for downtown, and it was everywhere was Texas plates. Everybody was speaking Spanish. You could tell they're from Juarez or El Paso, bro. I'm like, fuck, these guys just surround this area. But it's cool. It's a very nice area, and they don't get to see it like that. Because when you go down to El Paso or Juarez or that kind of area, it's very city, and it's in some of the areas, it's kind of old school. You know, it's kind of interesting out there for sure.
It's wild, man. And you know, speaking of that, and the revenue coming into our state from Texas, Oklahoma, Mexico, I was really surprised to know how many, you know, Mexican national customers that the dispensaries and different places in New Mexico receive. I mean, just like anywhere else, like, you know, Mexican tourism is huge too, them coming up. And I think this stuff fuels our state in a very positive way.
Yes.
You know, I was just in Jal. I keep wanting to say Hall. I was just in Jal, New Mexico. Jal, Hobbs, Carlsbad. Same thing. Like,
do they pronounce it Jaw? I thought it was Gel. Gel, New Mexico.
Is it Jal?
I think they pronounce it Gel, New Mexico.
Jail, New Mexico.
J-A-L.
Well,
Jal,
whatever.
Jal.
Shout out to y'all down there.
I wonder what they do pronounce it as. I'm curious.
And the support.
You're probably saying it right, bro.
You know, they give farmers and you know, a ton of support.
It's what,
down
Lee
there.
County, right?
I
think it's
don't know.
Lee
It's
County.
Texas, basically.
Yeah.
Is what it felt
By Tatum,
like.
New Mexico, Tatum, Texas.
And yeah, dude, it's oil land. So it's where all the oil workers are, and they're, you know,
Flatland.
pumping the heart out down there. And but it's crazy. It's crazy. And you see a lot of money being injected into these areas. You know what I mean? These guys are all making good money. They're, you know, here from out of state, you know what I mean? So they're, you know, not only paying for lodging, but paying for, you know, food and you
Entertainment.
know, entertainment, you know what I mean? All the good stuff that New Mexico has to offer. And I think it's really boosting our rather low, you know what I mean, economy we have here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, New Mexico's always been known for a tourist state for certain things like the balloon festivals, the Albuquerque Expos, stuff like that. That's pretty big, but it doesn't bring a lot of people here yearly or year round. So with the recreational market being in place now and everybody kind of booming and bringing it up, it's just creating a whole new market of tourism. Just to people want to just check out just weed shit. They want to go to a weed museum. They want to go to a weed Airbnb that lets you smoke 420 friendly. Oh my God, we get to go do what we want in here. There's a hot tub. Let's do it. Like, you know, that shit will just bring people down here. There's a guy that I talked to in Ruidoso that's working on some things, and he's actually doing a bunch of cabins down there in Ruidoso for 420 friendly tourist cabins because a lot of the Texans are like asking for it, literally. So it's definitely.
Well, and that's a whole nother thing. People, you know, people want a space where they can. So you're coming to New Mexico for cannabis tourism. You're coming to do something that's not allowed in your state, and then you get your stuff, and by all rules, where can you smoke it? You know, if you're in a rental car, you know what I mean? They're not too happy if you smoke in there.
That's a high fee right there.
You know, if you're staying at the fucking Hyatt, you know what I mean? They're not cool with you smoking there.
Yeah.
If you are in public or in a place where you could possibly get a ticket or something, you know, I haven't seen anybody get one. But anyways, you know, somebody that's really trying to follow the rules and enjoy, you know, cannabis tourism, they can't smoke there. So yeah, a place like cannabis-friendly lodging, consumption lounge.
Yeah.
Fucking, I talked to some buddies of mine from out of state, and they don't have that. They don't have that in Cali. They don't have that in a lot of these states. So I mean, I think we're really lucky to just be allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And I think thanks to you guys and you know, our you know, past friend Soul, most of these places are letting you bring your own stuff in.
Because it's hard. For some, cannabis is very different than anything else in this industry or in any industry for that matter. Cannabis is a variety. Yeah, cannabis is all selection and availability. So somebody who's consuming cannabis or buying cannabis typically doesn't buy just one strain. I got 3 different strains just sitting right here in flower, and I got 4 different rosins sitting right here in front of me. You know what I mean? This is a typical day for somebody like me. And even then, sometimes we double.
Well, and here's the thing, you know, going back to, you know, if those of you that don't know, Rob and some of his friends went to a consumption lounge down south, you know, back in the day, and you know, the place was known for not having the best product on the shelf. You know, rightfully, you know.
They had a great shop though. The shop was really nice.
It
was super
environment
nice.
was
Super
cool,
dope.
shop was cool.
Yeah, cool ass vibes.
And basically, you know, Jed and his friends got kicked out for smoking their own meds.
We got asked to leave.
Yeah.
They gave us the opportunity, you know, to give us pre-rolls and stuff and kind of keep us there and stuff like that. But they told us, okay, you know, CCD rules, whatever. You can't be in here with your own product from outside. You have to consume what we have here. And I'm like, oh man, you know what? Like,
which I don't think ended up being the rules, because there are multiple places that
it was very gray area because
is that the rules? Because
there is no rule. So I guess right now there's nothing written in stone.
Yeah.
Well, it's whatever your compliant
policy.
officer is telling you.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like all of these guys are on the same page and they're telling everybody the same thing. And so some guys are just making up rules and telling them this is how you have to do things because this is what we talked about and we said we wanted it. We just haven't put it on writing yet.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they're telling people. So yeah, like you said, like so they were told that, and I guess they kept that in place for a while, and that was their whole thing. But we've ran into a few different places where they're like, no, yeah, bring in your own stuff and have a good time.
If you're running a consumption lounge, you would expect that lounge to be able to consume your cannabis as long as it's at least, medical grade stuff,
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe if there's not rules against that, but
The way it
I
was
could see
explained-
it being a problem if you're bringing traditional.
And the way they explained it to me is they explained it
Correct.
like alcohol, like a bar. If you go into a bar does not allow you to bring in alcohol from outside of the bar or the club. You have to purchase your alcohol or your drinks there within the club to consume them. So that's what kills me about that is cannabis is nothing like alcohol, and it should stop being treated as such. And that's the biggest thing is we got a lot of these guys in CCD or in the state or whatever that just want to treat it this way because in their mind it is like alcohol. It is like this, but it's very different, and you can't treat it that way because then you'll have. I kind of feel like you shoot yourself in the foot a little bit. You kind of discourage yourself and stop certain things from actually happening or being done well because you're over here like, oh, we can't do it because alcohol does it this way.
Well, and here's the thing I look at it as, and I'm a realist. I just look at things the way I fucking feel, and the way I logically see them. And a lot of people are going to be hurt, but it is technically a safe use area. Start the fucking controversy there, but it is technically a safe use area. It is something that is illegal to do outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In public. And it is a place where people can safely consume
their meds.
Which is
it's a safe space for sure.
If you know that term, it's often the term used with, places where they let people shoot up or
and
whatever.
It's hard because there's not a
dope
law
house.
book against
That's what they want to compare it to.
So we have to go with whatever the CCD says.
Yeah.
No,
at the end of the day, for sure.
So if they say, we can't. And that's what makes things not flourish though. Different things, maybe pull up even with our hash and Headies.
We could help their brand.
We could have helped their brand big time, but it just sadly it was that way at that time, and hopefully
and even then I feel like it's more than that.
Yeah.
And as a business owner, the way I look at that, and as somebody that's an entrepreneur, I don't think it's a problem that you guys brought your own stuff in. I think the problem is they didn't have clever enough marketing, a good enough product, something to offer you. Fuck a snack bar.
Yeah.
Cool, motherfucker. Bring your own shit, but you're going to buy some of these fucking $6 sodas.
I was totally happy with paying a door fee. I was like, I'll pay a door fee.
And we paid a door fee too.
No, I think he let us in for free that day.
Did he?
Yeah, I think they let us in.
I'm pretty sure we paid a door fee.
A good business owner and a good entrepreneur should be able to bring in some sort of revenue other ways than just, some pre-rolls or whatever. And if they're letting people do something in that space, there should be multiple ways I could sell you something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Or just have product
Drink, snack bar.
that's
snack
good
bar,
enough to be like, here, smell this.
Yeah.
I mean, with good extracts and good shit.
How does
that
it
shit
work
all it take.
at Enchanted? They have a lounge. You've been there.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure their rules. I don't want to quote any rules. We did some opening stuff with them. They have some quality brands on the shelf.
Yeah.
There's something in there you could get. And B, what's cool about them is depending on what you do in their dispensary, you get, certain deals. So just going in there and hanging out, you'll get basically, comped, different stuff. So it works out.
Okay.
And their atmosphere is really nice. They have a cool kind of like speakeasy kickback area, but I don't know about consuming your own.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen that offered at multiple places though already.
Okay.
Advertised even to a point of like, hey, yeah, do what you got to do. But like I said, there's probably something else in that environment where they can sell you or eventually just sell you their products, alone.
Yeah, there definitely is a different outlet or another avenue that they could go down by doing so, or even then offering products for everybody on the market. You know what I mean? If you're only got mid-grade stuff there or lower, and you see guys who even there's connoisseurs from all over the place that come here. You know what I mean? And they're looking for fire products, and sometimes they get a bad experience coming to New Mexico, so then they go back to wherever they're from. Like, I don't fuck with New Mexico because they don't got anything good out there. And it's really just because they didn't know where to look or they went to the wrong spot. I've had plenty of buddies. I got some buddies who come from Alaska all the time, and they actually stopped at Seoul. It was kind of funny. And they brought me some of their rosin, and it was just like, it was some fresh press. It didn't look bad.
Yeah.
But there was no profile on there. It melted weird. It fucking didn't have no flavor on it. It was just like, and they charged like $90 or something for the gram. Yeah. Is what homie told me. I'm like, fuck. So right away, as soon as he got in town, he was like, I don't know, man. You guys are rosin down here. And I was like, nah, bro, look, check this out. So I started showing him stuff, and he was like, oh yeah. He's all, this is fire, so.
And for the record, we don't normally name names on the show, but Soul is unique because they were one of the first licenses, bigger licenses to fold.
They had a huge facility.
Which is wild to me because they were opening new retails.
They paid high dollar consultations to people I know in the industry to do rosin, to do, multiple different things. So it was a huge shock to me.
Well, if you're going to charge someone $90 a gram, it better be some fire, dude. And that wasn't what that was.
Anything over 60 has to be a good premium.
Yeah,
it has to be good quality material. When you're starting getting into that realm, it definitely has to be basically when you're using hash rosin at that price range, you got to be using 4 or 5 star hash and up.
Well, and this is a good point across the industry with every type of extracts from distillate to BHO to rosin. A lot of places have not come down on prices, and they're not pricing things by quality. They're pricing things by category.
And shit
well, no, not even that category.
Oh,
the rosin's expensive, so we're making it expensive.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going like, oh, there's so many levels of rosin. Same thing, BHO. There's people that don't understand live from trim run.
Yeah.
And they're charging the same for, a much lesser value product.
Yeah.
And I don't think, a lot of places have dropped prices on certain things, but they're still not pricing everything appropriately.
And I think that's a learning curve for a lot of these guys out here, because a lot of these guys are just jumping on and they're just kind of basing their shit off of whatever product research that they're doing. So they're like, oh, okay, I saw this rosin priced at this dispensary for this, so this is what we should price ours at, not knowing the different levels, like you said, in different categories. So that makes total sense that they're doing it like that. It'll level out. People will start learning. The curve will fucking even out after a while. Give it a year or so, and you'll start seeing certain brands. Unfortunately, Soul was one of those brands that it tanked over for whatever reasons, and they learn from it, and then hopefully that people could take that and learn from it.
And I'll just say it, like I said, hearsay, of course, fucking figure it out yourselves. But I heard that their investor backed out, said I've had enough.
Oh wow.
Which is fucking common, super common in companies that are backed by somebody else's money. These investors expect their return and their ROI, return on investment, in a certain amount of time. So, let's say for instance, Dabbo, I like you got a lot of talent, you know what I mean? And let's say I want to invest, $1 million in you.
People have
to do whatever. Yeah. Now, the thing that a lot of these talented guys don't realize is you're on a leash now.
You are, dude.
You owe me $1 million fucking plus whatever our deal is.
And you want to see your money. You want to see the numbers.
Yeah, you want to return.
So, you got to start rolling.
I was just at a farm just yesterday with an investor, and he's a good friend of mine. I went to school with him and everything. I'm not going to name names or nothing, but I seen what the guy put out for him, and I wasn't pleased.
And it's a hard game, and a lot of these guys, these talented fucking friends of mine, fucking cool, awesome artists, fucking amazing, cool guys that have creative, amazing ideas. When you take the money, it's almost not yours anymore until or if There's two parts there. If or until. Either until you can fucking pay it back with interest, or if you can pay it back. And you see so many relationships where basically ideas, intellectual property, fucking everything are basically just taken with contract because it's so hard to get that ROI.
It's hard to it's hard to stay steady too.
Exactly.
So like right now, me and my brother, like last time we were on here, we talked about it. We Habib that motherfucker. You know what I mean? 0 employees. Like Jet will be like, where's Dad, bro?
Bro,
He's at work, bro. He lives over there. And
Shout
I do,
out,
bro.
Big Mike.
I got my fucking chair. My brother got his, bro. We fucking chill, bro. We're used to doing that though. You know what I mean? That's the culture of where we come from and how we grew up, and fucking we just want to make the best of it. And we don't want to let some big investor and come in there and just take everything that we work for, you know?
Well,
so we are the little guy.
And word to the wise, you know? Word to the wise and word to the homies, you know, be careful when you take that fucking money, because it can definitely end up not the way. Some relationships end up great. The fucking idea or the brand or the whatever takes off, goes to the fucking moon. The investor's paid off, and the homie, the original, the creative gets their dream. And it's Cinderella story. But it's exactly that, a fucking Cinderella story, and it's not easy. And for everything to align and be right, more than likely there's some bodies along the way, and a lot of times that's the original person. And it sucks. So be careful.
Yeah, definitely be careful. I would say that to anybody who's trying to jump into things. I would say don't rush into it. I mean, the money sounds good. It sounds like it's going to help you out right off the back, and you're going to be all over it. And you're like, yeah, okay, this guy's over here. He's got me 1.5 million. He says I could do what I want, and I don't know. But guys, at the end of the day, you're no longer your own boss. You work for somebody now, and you're gonna have to answer to them. And those guys, as me and this fool had this conversation on the way here, and we were talking about how non-lucrative this business really is.
No,
especially at first, unless you're already building a big brand for yourself and doing a lot of stuff, you know, even then. But at the beginning, even you have a lot of overhead, you have a lot of shit to deal with, and people don't realize that
so much
negative before you ever see a positive out of it in the recreational business, bro. It's
crazy,
and I compare it. I call it a blood business, because in order to be successful, you got to be willing to fucking bleed everything you got, from your time, your effort, your fucking energy, your family, your friends' energy, everything. You got to move fucking mountains. And to do that, you have to be able to bleed fucking money before you ever see that fucking stream start to trickle in or whatever.
And that's exactly why this fool sleep on that couch inside that store.
Yeah. And that's, if you're not willing to do that, I mean, I hate to be negative to anybody. I wish everybody goes for their dreams. But if you ain't willing to bleed in almost whatever the fuck you're doing to get where you got to go, then you might as well not even start.
Yeah, cannabis is the hardest industry to try to be successful in, period, especially on a legal scale. Underground, black market, whatever, it's a totally different story. It's still got its own fucking risk and whatever involved, but the legal market does not make it easy for a person to succeed, guys. So
you're like I was telling him, we're paying monthly taxes, and then at the end of the year we pay a federal tax. Just that alone, that's not including all of our overhead and everything else we pay.
It's almost half your fucking revenue that you're pulling.
And it's a lot, you know. So
as a manufacturer, I pay all at once.
And so I bet you it's almost
hard. It's like a fucking slap in the face, right?
It's a slap in the dick. Gut. It's a slap in the dick.
Oh
at
yeah,
that point.
dick kick, bro.
For real, dick
bro.
kick.
Literally, fucking drop kicking your balls is how.
So
it feels.
we chose to do it monthly and yearly.
Good for you, man.
You know what I mean? But we try to keep it every. You know, we stay on our taxes.
You know, an old man once said to me, the only thing guaranteed in life is death and taxes. So if to all the homies out there thinking they ain't going to have to pay that fucking tax, or that already have a cannabis business and they're fucking it off, fuck.
You're going to not have one.
Death and taxes, bro. That's it. And they will, you know, the man will take your motherfucking life if you don't pay your fucking tax.
Just pay the tax and then you'll be fine. You know what I mean? You'll keep winning at that point.
Yep.
You'll keep winning.
Yep.
Like I was telling Jet, we don't have, like, all of us, we're owners. We don't have an overhead yet. We're working we're building our rolling lab right now.
Yeah.
It's a constant investment.
Yeah, and
It's a constant
also
investment.
building we're building our hash lab and everything like that too. So just slowly doing things, you know what I mean? Letting the company build itself.
So you're basically volunteer labor.
We are,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
We work
And that's
free,
what
dog.
people don't get.
Yeah.
Is you're a fucking volunteer.
I work
Well,
there
yeah,
7
pick
days
your
a
poison,
week,
bro. You want to go be involved with investors and owe people fucking millions of dollars, or you want to just invest in your goddamn self and do the hard work for yourself for a while to make something that's yours.
From someone like me that did stucco work, shingling, fucking framing, all that, you know.
Jack of all trades.
So when you do hard labor and so when you're working like this, it's kind of like your dream. You're living your dream. And at that point, you can't every day you wake up, you get to do what you want. And so I don't feel like I'm working at all.
I always tell my
what I mean?
guys, this ain't hard. Roofing's hard, motherfucker.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
This
I
is
still
during the
respect
summer.
the beaner up there on that roof,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I learned as a teenager, I do not want to do this as a fucking career. I learned a long time ago.
Oh, yeah,
I need to find
it's
another
crazy.
way.
I did granite and marble. I literally ground stone.
Yeah.
The term, the grindstone, that's literally what my dumb ass decided to be as a fucking young
Big
felon.
Mike used to do that too. My
Granite
brother.
and marble, bro.
Marble.
You better be not only big, tough, and strong.
You got to be a strong.
Oh,
tough
you gotta be
motherfucker,
strong mentally because it is literally sucking
Wet.
dust.
Got to be like a John Henry Bill guy.
Because you're in
out
the
there.
water, bro. Because
Yeah.
you're cutting the stone
like
water,
a
so
fucking
it's
wet
cold.
sponge
Yeah.
all day, getting mud thrown on you.
Yeah, my brother got me a job with him and
Yeah, I
doing
can
that
do it.
shit.
Shut
and I
up.
was
He
like,
has granite experience.
my brother's a granite guy.
I
dog.
knew I like that dude.
motherfucker's a
You know,
beast, dude.
You know, no homo. I like that dude. I could really see us fucking hanging out or whatever. But
Yeah.
I didn't even know he was a fucking stone guy. That's
Yeah,
probably
he
why.
is.
He's a cool dude. He got a lot of trades.
I did that
behind
shit
him,
for
too.
12 years, bro.
Yeah, he did it for a while, bro. He did tile for a long time. Then he started doing stone work. And he got me a job with them for a while, and it was hard, man. Working underneath that big motherfucker, dog.
Yeah, I grew up doing that shit,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
My stepdad got me doing that shit with him and his own construction company by the time I was like 11. Because I grew up poor, so my mom was like, "Well, if you want your fancy clothes and your Nikes and you got to go work." So by the time I was 11, I was like, "All right, how can I make some money?" And he was like, "Well, you want money? Okay, well, come with me and work." So I started
show
learning
you how to do
concrete,
it.
bro. He started digging trenches right away. He made me doing all the bitch work, fucking right off the back. Like he's like, "Gotta be smarter than that dirt," like shit like that. So I learned a long time ago, bro.
When you work from the trench though up, you
It's a
respect
better
that
better
shit.
It builds
way.
your character. I feel like
yeah, dude.
Well, you
It
can
does.
appreciate making money different ways.
Yeah.
You know, you can appreciate if you dug a fucking ditch and then, worked for 16 hours on a piece of joint art and you can make 3 times more selling that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Not saying that wasn't hard, but man, there's one of those points where you're like, man, this is a better way.
There is a better
Yeah,
way, bro.
bro,
Because,
definitely.
and then you.
That was minimum wage. I think I was working at fucking like Burger King. Oh, no. My first job was Winn-Dixie Marketplace. I used to live in Texas for a little while when I was young with my sister. But it was like summer and shit like that or whatever things. So, but I worked there. It was my first job and it was like $4.25 back then.
What the fuck's a Winn-Dixie?
It's a
See,
grocery store,
Oh,
dog.
okay.
Yeah, so
What
it's
the
like
fuck's a
it's like a Walmart
Winn-Dixie's?
grocery store or whatever and shit. All back there, Winn-Dixie Marketplace. Come on
Yeah.
down to the
See, you
marketplace.
tell me we ain't from the same
Got your
town now.
fucking
Yeah,
hustle.
dog. No, I'm from New Mexico straight up. I was only in Texas just because my sister moved out there, and so there I spent a few summers, a couple years,
Yeah,
whatever
that's
type
what's up.
shit. But
Oh,
yeah,
it's
so,
a Texas thing.
yeah, it's a Texas
Oh,
thing.
there you
They're
go.
all closed down now, though.
Yeah.
I think they're an old school Texas thing. So,
So
fucking
in
OG shit like
Illinois
that.
and Chicago, we had Piggly Wiggly.
Oh
I
yeah,
remember
Piggly
we
Wiggly.
Yeah, I
had
know
one
what
in
those are, too.
Alamo, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so they
That's
they
old
fizzled
school
out.
shit right there. Yeah, they all died, bro. Fucking
Well,
Piggly Wiggly.
Fuck. On that note, now everybody knows we're old men. But welcome to the farm table, guys.
Oh,
For
bro,
sure, dog.
yeah.
Speaking of which, bro, I can't believe homeboys were that our age. You're
Oh,
like,
fucking lava leaf.
bro, what
Oh,
are they eating, dog? I'm like, they live a stress-free life for sure,
That
dog.
shit's
I was
fucking
like,
funny.
damn. I was like, I had a hard life. I was like,
I
look
had a
at this.
hard life.
I was like, look at these grays. I was
All
like, we're
the
the same
grays.
age, dog. I was like, they look like
it's-
babies,
it's
bro.
the crystals. Well, you know what? I will say
The crystals. I got crystals too, dog.
I will say this.
Oh, shit.
Shout out to Tony and Mitchell. They pulled up with juices
cool.
from Squeezed. They pulled up with juices for the whole staff. You know,
Sick.
real vegetable,
Yeah,
like real
organic
juicing
smoothies
juice.
and stuff. Yeah.
Jack LaLanne.
Cool.
Jack
Cool.
LaLanne, really show our age.
Nice.
The fucking, they pulled up with real juices, and it was the most unique thing. Nobody's ever brought me and fucking Jess juices. They were probably just trying to save our lives.
They're like, you need to eat.
They're
You guys
like,
looking
man,
unhealthy
these
over
guys, you need a little boost in your energy.
All
and
right, we're
immune.
going to the farm table. These motherfuckers need vitamins and nutrients immediately as we walk in the door. They're not going to make it through the episode.
I don't even think Donnie's drank 12 ounces of water since the first episode.
So what I tell people is there's water in the coffee and the soda, and it's just my body's problem to figure it out.
Yeah.
But the water's going
It's there.
in.
It's
And
there.
you're building crystals in your fucking kidneys there, aren't you?
Yeah,
Talking
nah,
about
I love me
crystals.
some water. Water's life.
That's where my good luck
Shit.
comes from, is the inner crystals.
The inner crystals, kidney stones.
He charges him every day by drinking a Dr. Pepper.
Fucking
I like
Donnie,
Dr. Pepper
man.
though too, bro. So I feel you on that. Shit.
So yeah, we got Rob Jet and Dabro in the house from the joint
Gang, gang.
Sicarios.
Yes, sir. Desert Boys up in
Desert
the
Boys.
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have both actually been on the podcast before. Dabro and his brother Mike's episode was fucking crashed. But Jet did a
We'll blame
single.
Jesh's fault. That was Jesh's fault.
I take accountability.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh, man, we're
he got
gonna
that
get Big
backup
Mike
now,
on
though.
you,
He's got
Jesh.
that backup
Yeah.
now.
And he ain't here today.
Well, and what sucks is we lost like 4 audio episodes. Now we're on video though.
It's
Yeah.
all good.
And actually a special edition today for the joint Sicarios. And we got the top down camera. So
Yeah,
thanks.
what do we got on the table here? What are all these?
Since everybody
crazy
can
shapes?
see,
Yeah. Right? I know, right?
Right.
She's got everything right here on the
So-
table. We got everything nice
So
on the
what you're
table.
looking at is so these are a few creations. This is the one that we did for I did for the what is it? The world
The
Rolling-
World Rolling Championship for raw rolling papers.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Damn. Hold it up a little higher. Let me see it.
yeah, you wanna be-
Face it up to that camera right up there.
Sick.
Let's
so
show
that
motherfucker
is
off.
fucking sick. So it's a 3-headed. What is it called?
It's a goat, but it's
Okay.
it's got Mario heads on it and stuff.
it
and,
is.
Hold it, bro.
And he
It's-
did a whole theme on it. I'll let you tell him. He'll tell about it and stuff. But it's
Yeah.
definitely he's got a whole theme behind it. It got meaning. You know, it's all
Yeah.
sentimental.
Yeah, so the piece itself was my cousin. He tragically committed suicide whenever he was locked up, and he was real close to me. We but the piece itself represents suicide awareness.
Okay.
Yeah, my cousin Jacob Uteris. I'm gonna go ahead and say his name on here, but he loved to roll, man. That was his thing. But yeah,
Let Wody
so-
roll it. Shout out
yeah.
that Wody wrote it.
Shout out, let Wody roll.
Well,
it.
and on a serious
Yeah,
note, suicide awareness is super
Yeah.
important. Mental health awareness
Check on your homies.
is super
Yeah.
important. As
Check on your
men,
homies.
we're taught to kind of push our emotions down and not
Exactly.
talk about our feelings and
Yep.
be a man, fucking man up.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
harder.
But it's men are under an incredible amount of stress. Just like anybody
Yeah.
else in the world, and they don't show it a lot of the times, and they hold it in until it's too late.
Yeah.
So talk to somebody. That's some
For sure.
real shit to my heart too. Lost
Yeah,
some
definitely.
good homies.
Yeah, there's been a lot of loss lately
Yeah.
too, especially for our small town, Alamogordo, in suicide. Actually, man,
Yeah, man.
there was an 11-year-old little girl who committed suicide at the middle school a couple months ago. Not even
Yeah.
that, maybe last month. So man, R.I.P. to her. It's
Yep.
super sad. I just feel like this younger generation we were taught to be so tough that we don't know how to do with our kids. So we're teaching them to be soft because we were so tough. And now it's like
kind of baby.
there's no
too much.
there's no in between. There's no balance.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
that we're getting older, we're learning balance. But our kids are already almost like my son's grown. I'm a grandpa now. So it's different.
It takes time, man.
Yeah.
It takes. I mean, think about what it took you to mature as a man.
Facts.
I know I wasn't a real man until many years after 18. And I think they have 18 as that point that society puts on what is
Yeah.
a man, but
Yeah.
that's not a fucking
Yeah,
man.
that's definitely not. You're a
And-
kid still, bro.
and
for
even
sure.
even on a woman's side too.
Yeah.
An 18-year-old is a little girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they go through
Yeah.
different
All
problems.
you sick
know?
fuckers out there, we see you.
Yeah,
But
our kids are that fucking
yeah,
age.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
for real.
no, but and especially
Yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
have kids. I have a 21-year-old.
Yeah,
damn.
no, for real.
and man, proud of him as I am. You know what I mean? And he's doing a lot of adult things, but he hasn't fully matured yet.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. He's not supposed to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't, but you got to understand that all you youngsters out there, like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Life
change
life is
so
too precious,
much.
man.
Life is very precious,
Yeah,
bro. And I think a
because-
lot of kids don't realize that. They
Yeah.
think that this is the end of it, whatever's going on in their life, and there's nothing to look forward
man.
to. I was hard on my son. I'll be honest. My son growing up, maybe fucking from middle school all the way through high school, he was a hardhead. He didn't want to do nothing. He just wanted to play his video games, stay inside, you know. So I was on his ass.
Yeah.
You know, you need to fucking do school. You need to graduate. You need to do this shit to at least start your adult life, because that's where you start life. And so he didn't care, bro. We was hard. Fucking luckily COVID happened, so he kind of got like almost like a get out of jail free card, graduated high school, but he's doing great now, bro. Like I guess it took all that hard for him to go through, so that now he's 21 now, but as a 20-year-old man now, he's doing good for himself. I'm fucking hella proud that my son's,
Good, man.
yeah, he's handling his own. He's responsible. He's good with money. He budgets. He saves. He just had a little girl, so now I'm a grandfather, and he's doing very well with her as a father. And I'm proud of. He's learning still. You know, he still makes his fuck ups, and I even tell him, bro, like, nobody's perfect. Even now, I'm almost in my 40s, close to it, and you know, I'm still gonna fuck up. I'm still gonna have my
you're
days
not-
where I'm not gonna make the right choice. But
For
you got to
sure.
learn from that shit and be a man and take responsibility and accountability. And I feel like that's another part of what today's issue is, or
And
society's
not
issue.
too many people
Nobody takes
were hard on
accountability, dog.
their kids growing up, and it shows. You know what I mean?
Well, you have that
But-
generational skip. You know what I mean? The ones that were,
But there's still kids these days that they were built with our hands.
Yeah.
You know, our Generation X's that still whoop their kids' asses.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Man.
Because all these kids, you threaten a kid with an ass whooping, and they want to try to act like they got something against you or
Yeah.
something like that. Which I've never even had to spank my daughter, because she's just
Yeah.
a good kid. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I still believe in spankings. And,
Yeah.
and like my brother, he has these little kids, and my Big Mike, he'll spank those little fuckers, dog.
Yeah.
He don't care.
It's a
He's
balance,
like,
bro. You gotta find
he's
that
like,
balance. I
these
feel.
are my nephews. I don't care. They want to hit me, I'm gonna fucking spank them.
Well,
you
and
know?
I spank my kids too, you know. Don't
Or
at
you know,
me,
they
but-
just, and he doesn't hit them all hard or nothing.
Yeah, of
but you
course.
know, that kind of treatment and the way we grew up isn't around anymore. You know
Right.
what I mean?
And I tell you what, the world is gonna smack you. The world is gonna smack you way harder than fucking any good dad or good mom that's putting, you know, their kid, you know, recognizing a certain level of discipline.
But yeah,
But the world is gonna smack you, and the world doesn't give a fuck.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
doesn't
You know?
give a fuck.
Yeah.
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 I used to think my dad was an asshole for spanking me when I was a boy, but I appreciate it now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
I never look back at life and be
Yeah,
like,
for
man,
sure.
I should have never
Well,
been
and that's
spanked.
one of
I'm
those.
like,
At least you
Yeah.
had a dad kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, I had a dad to kick my ass.
I
for
could have
sure.
used a few fucking spankings, and it might have put me in a
it
different.
changes your
in a
mind about
different-
fucking
yeah.
up. For
So
sure.
yeah, bro.
Oh,
I mean, it's
yeah.
just, I can't look back and, you know, I have my stepfathers growing up. My dad was in prison my whole life, basically. So there was no relationship there, period. But I had a few father figures in my life, and they did discipline me. And I look back in my life, and I'm like, they didn't beat me. They didn't
Yeah.
abuse
Nah, hell
me.
no.
I felt
It's
like
way
every
different.
spanking I got was a valid reason that I got whooped. I was being bad. I was doing, bro, I got arrested
I needed
fucking
that
12
ass
years old the
whooping.
first time. Like,
Yeah.
I was bad.
Needed that ass whooping.
Yeah, I needed that ass whooping for sure, bro.
For sure, man.
And for those of you confused, there's a big difference between abuse and
Discipline.
yeah, to spank him.
So don't be fucking up your kids.
Yeah, don't be
But-
fucking beating your kids for no reason.
But a hot one.
Talk
on
to
the,
them first.
A hot one on the ass
Yeah.
cheek. You know what I mean? Never
There's
hurt
always
anybody.
a talk first
You know
before,
what I
yeah.
mean?
But yeah, a hot one ain't never hurt nobody. Shit. Ain't never hurt nobody at all.
So so that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So this new group, so the newest group that you guys are really, you know, promoting, and you know, I've seen you guys in different dispensaries, manufacturers, helping with production rolling, all kinds of cool shit. That's Joint Sicarios.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and that's a mob. That's
Yeah.
a group of a bunch of gentlemen outside.
Yeah, so we built a team. We built a team of we built a team of killers, and the killers fucking show up, and we murk out them rolls for you, and fucking
Them boys can
put 'em on
roll out
shelves.
there, man.
Yeah, man, they're beasts, all of them,
Yeah.
every single one of them, bro. So
Yeah.
Jess called me and he's like, "Hey man, there's a bunch of guys outside."
fucking Mexicans.
And
bunch
he's
of
like,
beaners
I
out there.
don't even see Jet or Andrew. He's like, but there's a bunch of guys out there. And I was like,
Blend
oh.
in.
I said, oh, that's the Sicarios.
Are they
bro.
brown? Do they have tattoos? It's those fools.
Donnie says it's
Them
the hair
fools.
crew, bro.
The hair
I
bands,
said I'm the
bro.
only one with no fucking hair.
They pulled out with
You
the
used to have hair?
1970s rock
Yeah,
band.
long hairs.
Yeah, I had long hair, man. It's a sad
He
thing.
used to have
man.
long hair too, and he had a big old beard too, and this fool fucking went all he went all clean on me
I
one
had
day.
to chop it off, bro.
I was like, bro, what happened? I thought we were fucking Wook
What
brothers.
happened is my wife was like,
She said,
you gotta
fuck it.
chop that off. And
My wife did that
I've
to
had
me
I was
once.
like, fuck
Yeah,
it, dog.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
I
like,
had to do that once with my wife, and I said, never again. Never. You can leave me. I don't
You
care.
can leave me.
Yup.
Fuck it.
I'm gonna
So-
live with my beard.
So can you guys elaborate on that? Either one of you. What are you guys doing? What's Joint Sicarios? What's the
So
service you're providing?
Yeah, I got you, man. So Joint Sicarios is something that we did because we wanted to collaborate and make a collective of the best rollers we could find in the state. And with that, we provide an array of services from roll bars to event services to consultations to training to SOPs. We could go in and roll for you. It really just depends on you. We do anything from creative rolls to hash holes to regular hand rolled joints, anything like that.
Rangers.
We could do everything on live on the spot. We can pull it into a manufacturing facility. Of course, right now ours is closing down because we're rebuilding and doing shit. So, we got that working on. Hopefully that'll be up here soon too as well, and we'll start rocking that again. But we do a lot of different things. But basically the whole concept behind it is to provide a rolling experience to people from mild to wild. You're going to be able to see a simple hand rolled joint that's just flour, a gram, couple grams, whatever, to hash holes, to double barrel hash holes. Right now, we've been fucking working on the Smileys. I don't know if you've seen us.
Happy
Yeah,
boy.
our-
Cannagar. The Cannagar with the
no,
Dabro.
a hash hole joint.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, so we're doing
Oh,
a
I
hash
saw.
hole.
Okay, so and not that they were the same, but they reminded me of the oinks.
Oh,
the
yeah.
oink doinks
Yeah.
with the pig nose.
Yeah, with the pig nose. Yeah, the double barrels. Yeah.
But I was like, how long is? Don't mean to cut you off. I was like, how long is it going to be till somebody copies oinks? Because it's a fucking brand.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see you guys do something different
Happy boys.
that wasn't in the market already. Because know that too, cannabis companies. This is a bigger market than just New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna go
Huge.
pull on and invent or say that you started something,
Yeah.
it might be a good thing to do some Google work, check out other states and brands in other states before
yeah.
you name yourself exactly the same as somebody or whatever. Say you product wise,
Yeah.
name your product the same exact as somebody else's. So, do some, be
Do
original.
do a little bit of research.
Sometimes
too.
you're not the first
be
person with that
original.
thought.
Yeah.
So,
and it doesn't mean you,
you know,
can't do it, but just
yeah.
don't claim,
Yeah, claim your
somebody
fame.
else did
Yeah,
it.
exactly. When
Yeah.
it's been done 4 years before.
Yeah, for
and you
instance,
just
I was
didn't know.
like, we're the Roadrunner, so I was like, it would be sick to have a Roadrunner with a snake in his mouth. Then I go to Sandia's, and
Or,
they got a fucking
Enchanted.
Roadrunner.
Enchanted.
Enchanted.
Yeah.
And I see, is it
Enchanted
Enchanted?
Botanicals.
Is Enchanted Botanicals. Okay.
Not Sandia Botanicals.
Sandia.
So this, shout out to both of them, both my friends. But
Okay.
you
But the
gotta
one
be
with- but I
careful what
seen-
you
I
name
see-
your shit.
But either way, I seen it, right?
yeah.
And I was like, fuck, they got it. So I
Can't do
I
it.
can't do it. Yeah. So I wanted a realistic bird on my building anyways. And that's what he's doing. But yeah, man, you got to be careful what you do. Cause someone you might have had that thought, but someone else might have beat you to it.
That should be like,
sure.
there's bro code where you don't like get with your friend's chick, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or even if they break up, whatever.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's
it's
part
still
of
off
bro
limits.
code.
Yeah.
There should be dro code where you don't fucking copy somebody else's cannabis brand because they are.
But you know what's crazy? I feel like a lot of the brands do
For
that
real,
for
though.
a marketing reason.
Yeah.
A lot of the brands are like, okay, well, we can kind of
This
do ours
worked.
similar to this because they popped
This
off.
worked.
This worked.
Oh,
it's
we-
a recipe,
and-
so we
and
should
you
just
know-
do this recipe.
Get hurt if you want to, but when farmers came out, there was no black and white cannabis brands in the legal market. And then all of a sudden it was like they fucking all started molding to fucking the black and white fucking style. Not saying that Farmers owns black and white. You know what I mean?
But it sets the wave.
But
it
it-
set the wave.
Yeah.
But people will, like you're saying, oh, that works. People like black and white. No, motherfucker.
They'll see
people
it.
like the whole package.
Yeah.
They
Of
like
what
the
it is.
product.
Yeah.
Of what
They
it
like-
is.
And that's
you
what
know,
happens
you know-
with every product on the
It's
market
all-
to this
it's an
day.
experience.
There's very
Correct.
little
Yeah.
things in this day in 2023 that's going to be new on the market. Let's just put it out on the table right now.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
very little things that haven't
Yeah.
been discovered yet. These guys for the last 10 to 15 years out in Cali, this state, and even fucking Colorado and wherever have been fucking in the lab working their asses off, testing every fucking little matter and way that they can, every little tech, trying to figure out what's working, what's not working. Like, so a lot of times in today's market, it's very rare that somebody's coming out with something new.
Well,
So-
and we have a term in extraction in the lab, no new tech. And what that means is for us, usually in chemistry or science, dude, somebody figured this out and wrote a paper about it in the fucking 60s. Like, there's no new fucking tech. Like, it's everything we do for cannabis extraction and processing and all that is either A, taken from another industry, how they fucking process olive oil or soybean fucking oil, or it's actually cannabis processes that were figured out in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Some even
You know what I
thousands
mean?
of years ago.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
You know, rosin, for instance. Rosin. Dude, that has nothing to do with cannabis. The word rosin, for those that don't know, has nothing to do with cannabis. It is not a cannabis term. It does not mean weed. It means the process in which the oils, resin, whatever were made. And there's every type of rosin going back to centuries. Pine rosin is one that always comes to mind. But people have been excreting resins and oils with pressure and heat and making different types of, you name it, rosin for fucking centuries.
Like right now, Piatella, that's supposed to be like the new tech or whatever, and it's not. It's old tech. They're
the new hype.
They're innovating it now.
Old
What they're
tech,
doing is
new
they're
hype.
making it better. They're using the old ass tech and they're perfecting it, and they're bringing out this super. So we got to try that 10 Blue Sushi with my homie crew, Stonehead. Shout out Stonehead.
How much in a gram is that stuff?
That fucking shit was $200 a gram.
$200 a gram, and they sell it in a it's a 2.5 gram jar. It's a $500 jar, or a two gram.
I want to say it was like a 3 gram jar.
Okay.
I'm not sure. It might have been 4, honestly.
I think that's
But
the big thing. Is like it's like a $500.
you got to pay like
$600.
$2,000 or some
Yeah.
shit for the fucking jar, bro. But so I went into this thing thinking it was going to kind of be like a full
Motherfucker.
melt or something. You know, it was going to have that residue left over. It was going to melt like one.
Tell me it wasn't even good. Oh no, tell me it wasn't.
I'll just lie to
the
you.
best
then.
rosin
Do you want me to
ever.
lie to you?
No, I need you to tell me the truth.
The truth was it was fire. The truth was it was very good. The way they made it, the process that they did, those guys really put in the
Best
work.
rosin ever, though.
It was up there. It reminded me of some fire ass
Top
cold
3?
cure.
Top 5.
It was probably top 3 for sure. Top 3.
Okay.
I want to say so. Blue Sushi won the what cup was it that they won just recently? They won one of the fucking the hash cups out in Cali recently or whatever with the Blue Sushi.
So is that the
And
strain or the brand
that's the
name?
strain. 10 is the brand name. 10 is the one that grew the Blue Sushi, and then they had a guy do the Piatella or whatever, the Piatella,
Yeah.
and that's where that came from. But the Blue Sushi strain itself is very fire. If you
So
can get
what's
your hands
the
on it, it's
notes
fire.
on that? What's the if you were trying to explain it to somebody that didn't have a tongue?
Blue raspberry seaweed.
Okay.
So like sushi. If you're
Sweet.
Sweet, very sweet, very, very, very sweet blue raspberry, like berry, like a blueberry fucking profile.
Okay.
But if you eat sushi, it has that seaweed sushi smell.
So
very
that's
strong.
where the sushi.
It's seaweed. It's
I don't
straight up
know if
seaweed.
I'd like that.
You would like it, bro.
Everybody like it.
You would like it. It's very interesting. It's a very unique profile.
So did you hoof it down? Did you go ridiculous on it, or did you like conserve the fuck out of it?
So it was
The actual dab.
So,
it was a taste.
Yeah, no, well, I got a couple grams, or I mean,
Okay.
not a couple grams, a couple dabs out of it and
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, it was my birthday, so homie was like, yeah, let's celebrate, So he was real cool about it. It was his gram or whatever and shit that he got. I was like, I just want to check it out and try it and smell it and shit. But he's like, no, take a dab. And then so the first dab I went in, the fan was on and shit, so it went down too low. So I was like, oh fuck, I did a little reheat
So you're
on
talking
it. But,
almost like a $20 dab.
bro, it was
per-
probably
per
I took a fat
fucking-
dab. It was probably like a $50 dab. It was pretty fat. It was
That
fat.
Stonehead
bro,
goes
but
in,
it was
dog.
so good. Yeah, and those guys ninja dab people all the time and shit, bro. But
So it was Stoneheads.
it was Stoneheads. Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
got it. He grabbed it and he was like, man, I got to celebrate with you and give you this shit.
He
So-
will have been on a couple episodes back from here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Stonehead.
Oh, yeah. I saw him post that he was on here.
Yeah.
whenever
He was
doing his-
respectful. He actually filmed the whole thing, I believe. And so he's
Oh, he had
probably
his
got
camera out
some
here?
he's probably got some behind the scene dirt. But he was really cool and kept it pretty private. And yeah, he's a cool guy, man. Very
Yeah,
cool guy.
he's a really cool dude. Stonehead's fucking dope as fuck. So it was his. He came through with it and he celebrated with me. So shout out to the homie for doing
Yeah.
that. Oh, you know what? I didn't even bring that adapter. Never
The
mind.
function on that is perfect with this. With this.
With that banger on.
What am I smoking?
What
Ooh.
is this
Ooh.
right here? melted.
Some melted strawberries from Breaking
strawberries.
Slabs.
That's
So
it.
Breaking Slabs, this is the Chimera 3. This is what won second place at Hash and Heady's.
Yeah,
So I
Breaking
got that if you
Slabs
want to
is
check
a
that out right there.
beast.
I'm gonna. Sorry, brother. I'm gonna say shout out to Breaking Slabs. I've known him for a long time, and I'm really impressed with what I've seen lately. I think he's a force to be reckoned with. I think it's gonna be really interesting to see where he takes it and how he does in the future.
I want to see.
That boy's been putting in work for sure.
I want to see Slabs come on the legal market and crush these fools.
Yeah.
I don't want to spill no beans. I don't wanna spill
I
no
wasn't gonna
beans.
say
I
it.
don't
We'll
wanna
let
spill no
Dabro fucking say it. You know, it's a different game. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
hard.
It's a beast.
Oh yeah.
But I think he's got a very cool single source thing he's doing. That works.
Yeah. He's been putting in the work. He's been doing the research. He's been finding the cuts. He's been growing the pheno hunts. That dude's really been.
He's
doing the
growing
work.
for resin.
Yeah,
He's
going for hash for sure.
Yeah, he's a beast.
So he's doing very good for what he's doing, and to bring him to the shelves for people would be even better
Oh yeah.
for sure.
So what's the main? Let's go back to what's the main service Joint Sicarios as a company is offering the commercial manufacturers.
The main service that we would be offering right now would be to roll bulk for manufacture on a manufacturing level for certain brands, producers, hash makers.
Can you
stuff
talk
like
about
that.
brands you've worked with? Or
Yeah, we can talk about brands that we've worked with. We do Sandia, Botanicals, Oleos. The Holios are ours. We roll all of those. We've done hundreds and hundreds already. There's quite a few different flavors on the market right now and stuff like that. We got a project going on right now with Alto and Z Labs that we're doing up. We got a few other contracts that are in the works and some stuff that we're finalizing. Unfortunately, with us redoing the lab and having to do that right now, it kind of put us at a halt for a little bit. But we're going to be working with the Harvest Foundation. We're working with them to start rolling their stuff and shit too. So we have a few different brands that we're doing. But so the main thing that we would be doing is just rolling for bulk.
Doing different things. So we're going to be doing
hash holes, flower rolls,
tie sticks.
gars.
Yeah, so it's going to be.
So that's the product I wanted to ask you about earlier. Your newest product that
Yes,
you've kind of released or put out there or shown the world is those Cannagars.
Yes, sir.
With the smiley. The reason I thought you said smileys is because they have that smiley face.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
trinkets. Yeah, the little
Yeah.
charms. He puts
So
charms on.
I just put little charms on there so it's easier to kind of.
So what is that for? So somebody that never saw it, what product is that? What is it called?
So it's just it's a packed way to do it. So I have a mold and I use a mold to form it, and then
So it's officially a Cannagar.
It's a Cannagar. Yeah.
So officially, what it would be is it would be a tie stick Cannagar.
yeah.
So the original term for it would be tie stick Cannagar
Yeah.
because the way we're doing it is we're tying it to a stick, and typally it comes with the hemp
And this
wick
is a
around it.
natural bleach leaf or some bleach leaf.
So
We use papers usually now.
papers.
Okay.
I like to use just a regular.
It's hard
raw
to source
paper.
really good leaves and then process
And,
them. You know.
I've seen you do that, I
Yeah,
think, and
it's-
that's where.
But
it
I charge
stuck in my head.
for it. So because it's a whole different process
Yeah.
to do leaves. Because it's like Cuban cigars are so
Yeah.
expensive and shit. It's because the
Correct,
way they do their
correct.
leaves and
Yeah,
shit.
they're hard
So a
to
lot of people
roll.
don't understand. There's two different processes whenever it comes to a Cannagar on the legal market. Most Cannagars on the legal market are grounded up weed that are put into a packer with a stick in it.
Yeah, correct.
And they just shove it in there and they pack it. So that's the typical Cannagar on the market today. Not a lot of companies. There's like a few of them, not here in California. Artisan Cannagar, shout out to Artisan. They do a great job. They've been around for
kill it.
years. They're the goats. They're part of the team that we started years back that created Cannagars and the whole fucking process of it. But they do a hand formed Cannagar where they wrap it around a stick with the hemp wick and they fucking cure it that way. And it's done all hand formed. There's no packing involved. And that's the way we like to do it. That's our personal preference.
It took a
And so
took
that's
a
what
lot
we're
of
gonna be
different
doing.
trying and trial and error.
Well, it's all about
Yeah.
how they present
Yeah.
themselves and burn at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like
How
If
they
it
hit,
smokes, it
it's all-
smokes,
It's
bro.
function,
So
function,
yeah.
obviously.
and so what the Dabro Gar is a bunch of different styles.
So is that
Because
official name right now, Dabro Gar?
No, it's not an official name. So what the Dabro Gar is like the one that you've seen is
Well,
just
like you
my
said,
style.
it's a white label
It's
option.
a white label option.
Yeah.
But so what it is it's a bunch of different styles that I collected together and I formed to make my
It's
own
his own style.
How do they
Yeah.
smoke?
They smoke good.
They
bro.
smoke fire. They smoke like
Yeah.
like a cigar. So that's a
Yeah.
lot of things that
What's
people.
the injection? What's the concentrate?
So what it is, it's a full gram of hash rosin, and then it's 5 grams of flour.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Lovely.
But they burn fire, dog.
Yeah.
Everyone
They're
I've
slow.
ever given
They're really
to,
good. You got to
so-
smoke them like a cigar.
Yeah, you got to smoke them like a cigar.
What's the
They're not-
time What's have you
I
timed
always
them yet?
say
It's
about
like an hour and a half for every inch or so.
I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So do you
tasty.
So this is what's cool about, don't be intimidated by some of these higher dollar, larger rolls. I hear a lot of people say, I could never smoke that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you
can
can.
smoke it 10 fucking times.
You
Yeah.
can.
Put it back in the
Legit.
tube, light it.
A lot of people don't
put it
smoke
back
them
in the
all at
tube and
once.
put
My
it out.
sister loves them just for that reason because
Yeah.
she'll take one Cannagar and she'll have it for 2 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
And she'll smoke it, let it go out, smoke it, let it go out,
Yeah,
smoke
and
it, let it
she-
go out, and she'll just fucking
I mean,
get
it's
lit
almost
for
the
2 weeks.
convenience of a, I hate to compare the two, but it's the convenience of like a cart, like on the go, because you just
Almost.
keep relighting it.
You're right.
And if you have a glass tube
It's a
or
convenience.
some sort of place to,
Exactly. And
keep
you
it
just
nice.
keep it nice in there and,
Yeah.
and you're good to go.
and the other thing we didn't talk about, for the people that don't know, you guys are both on the raw team. Is that how you say it? Or
so
is that,
Jet's official raw employee, actually.
Okay.
So
I wouldn't
he
say I'm an
gets-
employee.
So I wouldn't say he's an employee. But
So I work with Raw Rolling Papers and they're great, man. Shout out Raw Roll Paper, shout out Josh.
that's
man.
why I said team. I
Fucking-
thought it was like the
yeah.
roll team.
Well,
Yeah.
so
I don't know. I don't know the right
So
term.
yeah, so officially years ago, 2014, 2015 or so, we created a Raw Rolling team. Me and a few other people that worked with Raw Rolling Papers back then too. And basically, what we did is we did collectively grab a bunch of rollers who were badass, that were all creative rollers that were on top of their game back then, and we made a team collectively to basically sponsor all these rollers and do this way. Spin them out whatever products and shit that they need and give them stuff like that. Years later, we started creating a competition called the World Rolling Championship, and
that's what these
That's
items
what that's
are.
for.
Okay.
because after like
to catch everybody up.
yeah, so basically after 2018 or so, I want to say he started rolling 2015. 2016, maybe 2014. A couple
Yeah.
years later, he came on and me and him started fucking chopping it up more because we've known each other since we were like kids, kind of.
Yeah.
And so,
Love it.
as by the time we became adults or whatever, we started linking back up, smoking together. And he was like, "Oh, I really like what you're doing," and blah blah blah. And I was like, "Oh, well, I'll show you what I'm doing. Look, this is how I do it." And so he started fucking around with it and playing with it, and he just started taking it to another level too. And it kind of pushed me and back and forth. And we were just kind of learning from each other. And basically from then, we're
Been
a
a
team,
good relationship for a
but
long
we're our
time,
own
man.
people. He's
Yeah.
his own person. People
Yeah,
know
no, of
him and
course.
won't know me, and vice versa.
Yeah, so
And-
like
but
that's why the gar that you like is that's why I was telling you can just go through the Roadrunner, hit me up. We set you up, and then our Sicario team, me and Jet we haven't trained them to do everything that we do yet, but
they're already
do-
on a good way.
But they are masters of their craft, and we see a lot of potential in
Yeah.
their game.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
we're building it up to where we can
Well, because
mass produce
they're all
it, you know
younger
what I mean?
guys, and we'll get a good group photo after we record it and everything.
Yeah.
But they're all younger guys.
They're way
I'm
younger than
guessing
me and
you guys.
Jet. We're old. We're the grandpas.
Yeah,
bro.
we're about a decade older than most of them. For
Yeah.
sure.
Did they come to you already with some experience? Did
Nah,
you guys
I hunted
teach?
them down, bro. So basically, these guys are already guys who have their own names in the community.
Okay.
They're already known for doing their own thing. They're
Yeah.
branded themselves.
So you drafted them.
I drafted them, bro. Yeah, fuck it. Let's build a team because with the way the market's going right now is everybody wants so many fucking pre-rolls done. There's not enough for us to even do. There's so much work out there for guys. So we were like, fuck it, we got to build a team of guys who can knock it out.
Me and Jet are also going to offer. So like the joints we did here, we're going to offer those.
Yeah,
as
we
well.
offer stuff like this. So services like this
and
too.
now we'll go through
Yeah.
like legally through the
Yeah.
bio and stuff. We'll have stuff like that available.
So
and
I think I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It reminds me, and it's obviously much different, but it reminds me there's a couple businesses in town that have a group of trimmers, trained trimmers,
Yeah.
and flower processors, where you can take your crop to them, basically your dried crop,
yeah.
and they fucking they fix it up for you, put it in jars, do whatever.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of that kind of service. It's a very positive ancillary service
Yeah, it's
for the
auxiliary
cannabis
service. Mhm.
industry, where you can go in there and do the painstaking skill needed part and still produce a large amount of them. When it comes to hand rolled, so we do hand rolled fuses
You guys been knocking them
and
out too.
fuse woods
Yeah.
here, and
Shout
it's
out
hard.
to your rollers, man.
How many
They're
guys do you
fucking
have
out there.
rolling?
4.
Okay, yeah.
Well, normally 3, but it's kind of moved to like a 3-man right
So they're
now.
knocking
but
over
3
like
to
a few
4.
hundred a day and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any
And-
rollers that are out there doing that, man.
And
Shout out
to
to you.
get, and
guys,
to get
for
to
sure.
that level, I think the best some of them have done is like 140 in a day.
Yeah.
Single person. That's
And
huge.
straight rolling.
That's
That's
huge.
no
And
prep.
that's
Just
a-
sitting there rolling.
And that is
And you'll see
that's
your
including
rollers
with their
get
prep.
better
Yeah.
with time. So
Yeah.
the rollers you do invest in, they'll start rolling them bars up. It's just naturally, you do something natural every day, you're gonna get good at it.
Yeah.
You know, you just
And we've
takes
seen
time,
it.
takes
And
a
dude,
little bit of work.
we've
and
seen it. Shout out to
start
the
crushing it,
Roll Team 6. We're still waiting for a few members, but yeah, dude, it's a hard thing to get employees that know how to do it and can do it well and produce a consistently
a quality,
rolled,
consistent roll.
on a production level is different.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and
Rolling
that's
like
what a
that
lot
is
of the
different.
producers don't understand. Is I've been talking to a lot of these guys, and they're like, "Oh, well, we want 1,000 fucking joints rolled in a week, and this and that." I'm like, "Whoa, bro! Like, nah, you know what? The best I'm gonna be able to do is I can fit in like 200, maybe 400 tops for you in the week, and that's if I don't have these other
Well,
guys."
that's where
giving
you
me
tell them to
material.
get a machine that does it for them.
Yeah, or we
You
told
know
them we
what I
could
mean?
teach people how to even use a roll machines
Yeah.
if they're not really.
Well, no,
familiar
and I'm
with
talking
hand
about like a
roll,
commercial.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
big,
actual. Yeah,
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we're,
And just
we're gonna have a
go
house
away
of
from-
learning doctors, bro.
Yeah.
Like on Step Brothers.
we're here to fuck shit up.
Yeah, we're here to fuck shit up, bro.
I'm going to tell you right now, bro.
Can we just become fast friends?
I knew exactly what you were talking about, bro. I knew exactly. That's one of the favorite movies of
That's
all
some
time.
funny
I'll grind it up.
Hell yeah, dog.
So the coolest thing, and this is one of the reasons we wanted the top down camera, to really show. Let's make sure.
You want to roll it?
Oh, you roll it up. I'm just gonna break it
All
up
right,
for you.
cool. I'll roll it.
So yeah, we wanted, a lot of people, I think, especially beginning cannabis users, are almost scared to roll their own joints, or they do roll their own joints and it's horrible.
Yeah.
And they don't have a good experience with it.
I think it's just more or less confidence.
Yeah.
Cozy once told me that we were talking, and he says they have to break that barrier and have confidence in themselves, bro. And he
You
says, and
discourage
that's
yourself.
and you discourage your own self. If you start doing that, bro, you're gonna lose every time, no matter what you're doing. Really, honestly,
You miss 100% of the shots that you don't shoot.
yeah, for sure. And you can't win every one of them neither. You're gonna lose some to win some. You know,
As a teenager, my joint sucked. I didn't, every time I rolled a joint, it didn't smoke well. And it's sad to say, but where I actually got good at rolling joints was when I got locked up and I had to roll my own cigarettes.
yeah.
I got good at it because I didn't give a fuck about the tobacco, right?
Yeah.
The weed I cared about so much, I didn't want to waste any, and I tried to get it all in there, and I fuck it up. The tobacco, if you've ever rolled off like a pouch of tobacco,
I know what you
bugler, or
mean. You
whatever.
fucking throw it
Yeah,
all
you don't
over.
give a fuck, bro.
Some fall on your chest, brush it off.
You could give a fuck, and the thing is, you want a cigarette quick if you're a nicotine addict,
Yeah.
and you do want it rolled right, and you make it as fat as possible, and you don't care. And so that what really showed me how to roll a good joint.
Yeah.
Was
It will too.
and I came out and as soon as I got a hold of some weed, it was like boom, oh man, there it is. And they smoked good and it was a good experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, bro. So it's super hard to find anybody who could roll good consistently. And so for people who are trying to do it that way, you just got to be realistic, man. You got to wait for those people to come, or even then find brands like us that are doing it for companies like that. So,
Well, here's the thing: is a good entrepreneur finds a need in whatever market, and has the skill or figures out the skill to fix that problem.
Yeah.
There's a problem.
yeah, fill a need.
You create a solution, and you charge a premium for it. You're charging a premium for the convenience. You're charging a premium for your whatever years of skill and experience, and your management of the team you're going to bring in.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it ain't easy. People from the outside, it might look easy, but once people start getting into it, they're really like, "Fuck, okay, you got all these people. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're organizing all of this, and then even then, you got these guys on your team. Like, how do you do that? This and that." And they're like, "Oh, how do you know?" I was like, "It's fucking work, bro. Like, this shit is not
Hand
easy."
rolling for production is 100%
many years
Hard.
of fucking researching and just being immersed
And trial
in the
and error,
culture and
bro.
trial and error. And
To create
fucking-
something like this takes a lot of hours and hours and hours of fucking with weed
Yeah.
and rolling. That's you
Yeah,
know.
I was just talking to Jet
So
that
it's-
I just barely got that style and confidence down to do those type of roles.
So, and we'll explain
Yeah.
that too. So, like the way we do roles is so many different ways. So when we get into creative roles, there's so many different avenues that people do. They do like paper mache, where they'll get like a sculpture and they'll fucking paper mache over it, then they'll cut out the sculpture and they'll fill that shit like a shell, and they'll do it that way. And then you have other ways, like me. What I'll do is I'll take pieces of joints, I'll roll up joints. So like this right here, this joint is all freehand and it's all with real little joints. They're all hand rolled. So the body is literally just a giant tulip flower that I shaped into a body of a fucking ghost. The head is a tiny tulip flower that I shaped into the head. The arms are just joints that I bended
Literally rolled
into the way. The fingers are all little tiny joints that I just rolled. These are all little tiny joints. So I literally rolled little joints and sculpted them into the shape that I wanted.
The joints in the Midbusters fingers
Are real joints.
are impeccably perfect.
Yeah, they're pretty precise.
Yeah, my brother was like, "What the fuck?"
Whose little fucking fingernails did you use to get that crimp around the fucking?
he crushes it, dog. That's
These
why
are
he's the
tiny
boss man.
rolls. Oh, this one right here? Okay, here you go. Yeah, so
Jesh has
That's why he's the
Jesh
boss man
has
of rolling, dog.
microscopic pinky nails. Jet. I keep saying mixing Jesh and Jet.
man, the little ones were not too bad. They're pretty easy to roll. One of them's actually a hash hole.
Yeah.
I threw a fucking like a 0.2, 5.3
We
hash
were in the
it.
DMs. I was like, "Dude, is it a hash hole?" He's like, "I'm gonna make
He's
it."
like,
The,
no,
race,
that was a good
the
idea,
ratio
though.
on that is really good.
Yeah, I want to smoke it to see what it does, honestly.
That's probably an intense
Yeah.
few hits.
So you got those little guys.
It's probably some tasty terps, dog. Think you put some Yindos in that bitch
Oh,
too.
and it fits in his fucking
Yeah,
mouth.
so they're all the joints are all interchangeable. They switch over from his mouth to each
So
hand.
does this
They're both
comes
smokable.
from, I definitely had action figures and little toys and shit as kids. Is that what this comes from?
Yeah, definitely.
Is this because like the fact that they're
It's just-
interchangeable and they work? You haven't even explained this
No,
fucking
this one
crazy
is-
motherfucker yet.
So that one breaks down into all kinds of different joints. And so what it is you go through all kinds of different emotions. And like I said, it was a piece dedicated to my cousin that passed away.
The wolf, the wolf man too.
So it's called Jacob the Wolf. And I did it like that because he had a white wolf and that was his dog. And so
So this is an
smashed him.
actual character in the world, or this is something
This
out
is
of your
something
head?
out of my head, bro.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
so cool, man.
Yeah,
That
so
is
it's straight out of my head. And then so this is out of my head too as well.
well, and that's what really pushes that level of like high end art. You know what I mean?
There's a
Is
shot.
if it is out of your, there's one thing to recreate something. So it's one thing to say, okay, I want to make an Eiffel Tower joint, and you make an Eiffel Tower.
Exactly.
Well, that's already something that exists.
Yeah.
But to make something out of your mind into something that looks like it already exists is fucking super sick, dude.
Oh, yeah,
that's,
bro.
That's
And
that
so-
level of art.
It's a level
you're
of
crossing.
So right now I was gonna roll it for this, but I have so much going on with the shop and everything. But you know how it goes. But yeah, man. So I'm rolling a little like a pumpkin headed dude and stuff like that, man. I was gonna try to roll a joint on here, but we already had some rolled up, so I figure we're good.
He was like,
you
"How
know
long
what
do
I
we
mean?
have?" I was like, "We'll probably be about an hour." He's like, "Oh, never mind. Then I'm not
Fuck,
trying
so
to."
you
Yeah.
guys actually got a fucking appointment to go to. Oh yeah, so we can't take too long.
Nah, we're good. We're good. We could be late. We could be fashionably late. They can wait. They're gonna start without us regardless.
So you guys are actually, throwing a private event, doing something cool, a hangout. I wouldn't even call it an event, but a get together.
Yeah, it's more of a networking thing.
A
Yeah.
networking event
Exactly.
with some fellow, heady members of the
Yeah,
community.
so shout out to the Heady Collective. The Heady Collective is actually the one that organized this and put this one on. We're just
Smoke
part of
so
it. They
good.
asked us to be a part of it and kind of
They'll
help and
smoke
stuff.
So fucking good.
So yeah, we're doing that today here at fucking 2:00. It's supposed to start in like the next 20
So
minutes.
this will
or
be
so.
aired afterwards. So
Yeah.
you fucking missed out. Just know that
You snooze, you lose.
fucking no,
You
you-
fucking
We're
missed out.
pulling up with
fucking missed out.
Headies. We pulling up with cool ass rolls. We got a bunch of
We
shit
got
from
good
raw rolling
hash.
papers we're giving away,
And
bro.
we got good
Like,
hash.
But that's a good reason for people to kind of follow your what you're doing, your movement, the different things that you guys are doing in the industry. Not even the industry as much as the community. Well, now in the industry, with like I said, the newest venture you guys are doing. So that's sick, man. That's super cool. I think it's clever. I think you'll find quite a few people that need the service.
yeah, overwhelming
You know.
so far.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We have a lot of people hitting us up.
So when's the next? So we didn't talk about Hash and Headies either.
No,
That was another thing
No, yeah.
you guys did.
yeah.
how'd that go?
So Hash and Heady's was cool. We had a little issues with the kind of the venue or whatever. Last minute, I had to just kind of fucking find a
I
spot.
talked about it on the Z Labs.
Oh yeah,
episode.
yeah, bro. It was rough. I
was hot
totally
in there.
agree with you,
Yeah.
bro. That was a rough room. Shout
Yeah.
out to the judges and everybody that showed up. That fucking soldiered through that shit. It was a rough room. It got a little warm in there. We got some fans going, and so it was cool. The ISO, people kept talking about the ISO, but I didn't notice that shit. I guess I was too high, or maybe I'm just used to it all the time.
You're not tall enough to hit the.
Oh yeah,
to
that could
hit
be.
the
I'm
cloud.
low
Hey, man,
gravity.
I'm low
bro.
gravity too.
I'm
I
low
smelt
gravity.
that shit. What are you
Yeah,
talking-
everybody kept
And
talking
you know
about
what's
that shit
fucked
too.
up? Is I was out there by the food truck getting a burger with Don, and he goes, "You smell that ISO in there?" And I was like, "Nah, dog." And I go back in. I was like, "Oh, fuck you, bro.
You
I
ruined
fucking
it for
smell
him,
it
dog.
bad now,
Yeah.
dog."
So I mean, it was great. Other than
I
that,
didn't smell it until then, though.
It was rough trying to do for a lot of those guys, like you said, the 27 dabs. That's a challenge for some of those dudes. A lot of us will dab all day long. Like I don't even know how many dabs I've taken sitting here so far. 4, 5, 6, maybe. So, but like,
Well, and then a lot of once the beginning dabs were fine. Once they got through like 3/4, they're fine. But when you saw them at the end, it was like these motherfuckers are cooked.
yeah, all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
Bro, that was
for
6
sure.
hours, 5-6 hours of dabbing, and there was 27 entries. So this year we're gonna do it a
Yeah,
little
for
different.
sure.
We're gonna spread it out between 2
You're
days.
gonna do another competition.
Yeah, so we're gonna do
Nice.
Harvest Cup, Harvest Connoisseur Cup. So we're gonna allow the guys to do everything that they're doing right now. Hopefully by October, November, they start chopping, doing their thing. So we're gonna give them till December to cure over and shit. And we're gonna do another one in the middle of December for Harvest. So we're expecting some fucking heavy hitters. There's guys that are already been in the lab, ready for the next one, trying to push out some shit. So we're super excited. And then we push an unbiased thing. The whole thing is 50 judges, blind testing, all judging it. They're all connoisseurs. They're all heady individuals. They're vast in different brands and areas of hash, rosin, and other extracts. So there's nobody picking fucking favorites out
Well,
here,
and
bro.
I'll tell you right
Yeah,
now,
for
somebody
sure.
that's been a judge before, not in Hash and Headies, but other competitions. I've entered competitions, and once there's so many samples, it's hard to even pick out your own shit. You know what I mean? Once you start dabbing, and when everything's not labeled, when everything's 1 through 20 to 25, you don't know what the fuck's what.
Yeah, you had some guys trying to
you're
guess, and I was all,
judging-
nope.
No, and
Yeah.
you're judging off quality.
You're judging off
And,
Purely.
quality.
and it's the best way to almost look at your own extracts. You can't, you know what I mean? Because you know what it is. You know what I mean? You create biases from all different types of stuff. But you know what I mean? Yeah, it's hard to really judge unless it's blind. And
sure.
and I saw it. I was there. I'm a witness. It was blind.
Yeah.
So, and it was interesting. It was crazy to seeing the hash and then seeing, oh, that's that one. Oh, fuck. You know
Yeah,
what
they
I mean?
definitely stepped up their game in New
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah, they
bringing
came heavy.
that,
They came
you
heavy.
can see the different profiles and all the different hash. Like we can see and taste and texture wise.
New Mexico came out with the hash, man. We
they-
really
they
showed
did.
that we're a state that we
I
like
was
our
impressed.
rosin.
I was
Yeah.
impressed. I
Yeah.
saw most of the entries. I dabbed, quite a few of them, and that was good. There was a lot of good competition in there.
Yep.
I'd say it was pretty close. Obviously, certain
Super
ones,
close, man.
certain ones super stood out, and I think the winners were all three of them. Shout out Slabs and About That Time, Breaking Slabs and About That Time.
Yeah, definitely. It was super cool. The top 10 was all close. I think the Super Booth just set itself apart because of that consistency.
Yeah.
That presentation was beautiful. And it was the first
Oh,
time that a lot of people seen it.
piercing flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The terps were-
if you
bro.
fucking like it or not, it's fucking there.
Beautiful.
It
It's
was
beautiful.
captured.
Stood
It was
out and
It made
whatever.
it was
grown.
mouth-watering.
Yeah, that
It-
fucker
I don't
stood
care
out.
who you
Yeah,
are. It's fucking
yeah.
mouth-watering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
so it was great. He did a great job. He definitely deserved first place. I hope he comes back with something even better this next round to defend his title. Because I even told the 3 guys that won, shout out to About Dab Time, shout out to fucking Breaking Slabs, shout out to Z Labs. You guys better come for your fucking defend your titles.
I know
because I know people are
Slabs
hunting
is.
for those fucking awards,
All
bro.
He
right.
wants that first trophy.
Yep.
When
we
you
got
win
some sick
second, you
trophies
just
for this
want
next
the
one
big
too.
one.
We got some sick trophies coming out
Yeah.
for this next one too. So you guys definitely gonna want that shit for sure. So bring your best. We're gonna be ready. It's gonna be in Rio Doso also. We're gonna bring it down south this time. Kind of go up in the mountains and fuck around at a
Nice.
cabin. So we're gonna have a
Different
different vibe, different setting, different vibe. Yeah, it'll be nice and cool, nice chill, a little bit more intimate. I feel like. And kind of give it that whole direction right
better
there.
ventilation.
Yeah, way better ventilation, man. We got a nice setup already and shit. Yeah, that last one, my bad, guys. It was a last minute thing. My venues that I had lined up decided to bail out on me last minute. I don't know why. It is what it is. I made what we had work, and we still came out good. Everybody did their thing. It was great. We all had a great time regardless, I feel like. So
Well, thank you guys for getting me super stoned. Thanks for coming out and enjoy your event, and have a good one.
Tell everybody like and subscribe.
Yeah,
Like and
subscribe.
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 Yeah, like and subscribe.